You've shown me enough over the years, right?
Okay, so you loaded the 3 tables.
Not yet. I'm still working
Starting
on it.
balances, ending balances, and the rhoc transaction table, right?
That's right. Yes. Didn't mean to do that. I got it wrong. So these are going to be our free stored procedures to insert the data from the raw table, which we imported, which is not data typed correctly, into tables that are data typed correctly. So I've created the names. The first one we know is correct and works. So I'm just going to Control-C that. But if we execute that, you can see it, the code works. I'm then going to open the second one because I'm just creating it now. And that just needs updating to the code symmetric. So we just need the right block number. So just get that. So this is if the stored procedure exists, drop it, then recreate it. And then what the stored procedure will do is truncate the data type table, and then it will insert into the data type table from the raw table that isn't data typed, and it will convert, well, the address is fine because that's a varchar, then it'll convert to decimal format from varchar, the rhoc balance, and it'll convert to int the flags as to whether it's contract or not. And I've set it as int, not bit, so that we could sum up the rows, because you can sum up integers, but you can't sum up bit flags. So that's basically what that does. We'll execute that, and that should have created us a stored procedure here, which it has. And hopefully, if I execute this stored procedure, as long as I've got my code right, it will have populated this table. The return value came back 0, so it executed correctly. Select top 1000, and it appears to be, that should be instant, but something's going on with my system. But it has worked. So there we're looking at a data type table, and you can see that here we had 3 columns, all of string type. So varchar 520, varchar 500. And here we have the data type, varchar 500 for an Ethereum address, that's still a string. The rhoc balance is now in decimal format, and the flag is in integer. However, I wanted to rename that flag to be is contract, so that's an error on my side. But I can do it easily enough from my code, because if I go back to the source control, I can go into the table, which obviously I hadn't updated. Oops, that's a raw. In fact, I might, no, I won't do that one because it'll bugger up the load. We haven't got time. Sorry, I meant to go into the code and the create tables, and which one was it? It was wrong, this one. So put that on there. Yeah. Sorry, it's this one. That's what I was doing wrong. I must have just not run it. If I execute that, and then if I run the stored procedure again, so on, then hopefully this time we get his contract. And if I refresh the columns on here, you always have to refresh things in this window. You can see it's now his contract of type integer. So that means that this one is correct and this one is correct, but I haven't yet created my data type transaction table. So to do that, I'm going to script my table as that, and it'll just generate the code. Come on. This is abnormally slow, like crazily slow. Right, so just review these data types really. So transaction and block number are fine. This should be an integer, the Unix timestamp, number of seconds since 1970. This should be a date time, the date time stamp. The from is a from address and a to address, so I'll leave them as they are. And the quantity is quantity of rhoc, so that should be a decimal number. I'm using decimal rather than numeric because numeric is old school floating point, whereas decimal is, whilst it's still floating point, it conforms to an international standard, so always better to use decimal. I think I had to go as high as 36.6. I'll just check on another table in order to get the conversion to work. Come on. Yeah, so that's the type I'm using. So and that should do it. So if I change the schema now to make that my data typed schema here, same name as the raw. Let's double check. Transactions are strings, block numbers are strings, Unix timestamps are ints, date times are date times, from and to are strings, and the quantity is a decimal number. So the other thing I'll do is just make it regeneratable. So to do that, I'll just nip the code that I use from another one, where if the object is of the table name, then drop it and then recreate it. So it's a drop and recreate, and I just paste in the new name. And then that should be good to go. So first I'll execute it and it ran, then I'll save it, file, save as, source control, rchain, SQL code. You can see I've got a nice directory structure with the I have one file per SQL object. So we want 2.3, create this table. Okay, and then we'll save that, and we know it works. And at the end, we'll literally clear everything down and regenerate it all. But the other thing I need to do, I'll save that because it was working, I believe. Yeah. Close, close, close. So we're clean, and we should have 3 tables in the data type now, of which the last one we know is empty, because whilst we've created it, we've not populated it. So the final job is to populate it, and then we've got our data in the right formats. So I think I've created a stored prop, but it's probably got rubbish in it. So in my stored procedures, I have created a 2.13, which is the transaction 759 to 937 data type table we want to populate. Yeah, but I've just got rubbish in there. So I'm going to also open 2.2, which is not correct, but it's at least a stored procedure. So we'll take a copy of that and then we'll hack it around till it's right. So we want this to be a new stored procedure called that, USP prefix to make it a unique name. Okay, so we want to truncate this table. It's bad practice to have the database name, but I'm not going to worry too much because we're trying to work fast. Right, so obviously the select is all wrong. So what I'm going to want to do is perhaps keep that just as reference, because it's the right sort of thing. And then I'm just going to select from the raw the columns we want, because it's this that we're converting. So get rid of the top 1000, and then we basically want all this, but we need to put the appropriate casting in place. Control X, close, no. And right, so I believe we've created that table with these columns, and we've got, yeah, transaction hash, string, block number, string, Unix timestamp we need to convert to an int, so cast that as int, as, you always have to rename the column name, well you don't, but it'll give it rubbish. Date time, we want to cast to a date time, so cast date time as same column name. From is correct and to is correct, these are both strings, and then we want a decimal here, and we know that the format is this to do that. So quantity, and I'm converting it to a rhoc balance with decimal points, because I think the original data came in as nanorhoc. Now, I might not have got that quite right, but we can test against an address later on. Okay, so why is that? It's compiled, so hopefully that will execute, which it has. So I'll save that and assume it's correct, and now we'll test it. So the way we test it is we refresh our stored procedures, just because there's a bug in this is the Object Explorer window, SQL Server, and if you don't right-click refresh, then any new objects you've created you won't see, which is just crap. They really should fix it, but they never do. So yeah, you just have to live with it. So there it is, our stored procedure that we just wrote. And if we execute that, hopefully we get, so I've messed something up. Error converting data type varchar to numeric. Right, okay, so what I will do now is open that file up again. There we are. And instead of creating the stored procedure, I will try and run the code, and of course it's going to fail in the same way. But if you select, it will run just this, ignoring the other code. So I can actually try and run just a select statement. And you saw it started and then it ran into a problem. So the problem was converting a varchar to a numeric. So it's probably in this rhoc balance, which is a bit annoying and concerning, because I would have thought it should work. Trying to think, it suggests one of the data values in this transaction set is not convertible to a numeric. So something in here is my guess, which is a somewhat of a shame, because we're almost there. I'm not sure these values are quite right either.
How come you? Well, it looks like you scroll to the bottom, but it's only 900 items. 900.
Good point. That's probably because thank you. Good spot. I think you're right.
Is that because it died after 900?
Because it's bang on 1,000, it suggests to me maybe we did a select top 1,000 from the raw, which means, oh yeah, we are doing, indeed. Sorry, Jim, thanks. Schoolboy. Yeah, so we got the 7,500, but somewhere in here, there is a problem quantity. Now, looking at this lot, it looks like it's already fractions of rhocs. So I'm not sure I should have divided by 1,000 for starters. So given I've spotted that, I might just get rid of this because I don't think we need it. I think it's in error.
Why 1,000? Shouldn't it be 1,000,000?
Probably should because I'm working quick. We'll need, there you go. So that, well, but just because that ran doesn't mean anything. Let's try and execute this again and see if that was a problem. I doubt it. I think it'll fail again, yeah, and it has. But at least now I'm not converting things when I shouldn't be. So
what failed? It says completed successfully.
yeah, that's created the stored procedure successfully because the code's correct. Okay. But if I try and run, so that's created this stored procedure object correctly. But if I execute it and execute the code inside this block, that's what this will do. That fails, and it's failing because it's failing to convert a varchar to a numeric. So if I look in the code, the only place in the code where I'm trying to convert a varchar or a string to a numeric value is here. So I suspect if I take this out and just to prove the point and just put quantity in here, I think we'll find that it runs through fine. Oh, actually we won't, but we'll find that the select statement will run. Execute, there. So it's run. Whereas if I try and run this select statement with the conversion in place, it's failing. And what's annoying is that it says not line 11, but it means line 11 in here. It doesn't mean, unfortunately, SQL doesn't tell you which row it failed on, but one of these rows is failing to convert.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah. It could be row 802. So let's have a look at row 802 if we select the top 1,000 from here and we go to 802. Now the nice thing about doing it this way is once we've figured this out, our data is of the correct type. Yeah, look, there's a big number there, 8.6. And it's actually to the -7, blimmin' heck. Right, I might look at that in the raw file. So
that's a exponential format.
Yeah, maybe we can even convert the format and rerun the import. So if I go to my, sorry, I've moved it off screen. If I go to my ETL file processing to hit this and open this up, and bring this across, then row 802 was the one we think is giving us a problem, right?
Now, where did you see the 802?
It's there. Doesn't look like a problem, row. I saw it.
That's okay.
I think it was here. So if I execute this, it runs for a bit and then it fails. And if I look at the results and I scroll down.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I was probably looking at 801 because I had the first row being the column headers. So I need to go one down. So I was like, oh, that's fine. There you go. So what is 8.60e to the -7? If we calculate that and put a number in, then it should hopefully load. However, it looks a pretty odd number, right?
Yeah, E -7.
Yeah.
Funny that it's minus.
Yeah, let's do it in a calculator. So 8.6. Oh, this is rubbish, isn't it? Have I got scientific? Yeah, cool. So 8.6 times 10 to the power of. So let's just, so it's 10 to the power of minus 7. That's what that means, isn't it? 7 minus, which equals that, times 8.6, which equals that. So if we put that value in, that's the same value. Are you agreed?
That sounds good.
Yeah. So, it's got it. It's just the way Excel's formatting it. I actually already had it. So if I just do, this is annoying. I'm going to Control Z that because I don't really like corrupting the file, right? Let's open it in Notepad and see what the raw data looks like. In fact, Notepad++. How do I go to row?
You have to go to the timestamp. Find the timestamp.
Yeah, good idea. I do agree with you, but I think I can actually just page down, right? We know it's 802.
Oh,
So,
yeah, you have line numbers.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Well, you were right if we had to find it.
Right, if you didn't have line numbers.
Yeah. So I don't think the sorry, you're over my.
The one down from there.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're right. So actually, it does need replacing. Okay, cool. So that sounds fair. Agreed?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like if you read it into a type field already, maybe it wouldn't need to be.
But what's
never mind. No, if it's going to be decimal, yeah, that's probably not going to anyway.
Let's see if that works at all. I'm trying to think how to do this. I know how to do it. So actually, I don't need to re-import that because I've already scripted out the inserts. So if I can find it again, transaction hashes are unique, aren't they?
Yep, and the Unix timestamp is unique too.
So what is, yeah, 802. I might just go for, that's a transaction hash, that's unique, isn't it?
Yep.
And then if I come back to here, just found it. Oops, this wasn't very clever.
What is that end quote?
This?
Why does it have end quote at the beginning of it?
I think it's because it's an N varchar, but I can't remember. So it's because it's Unicode. So N is signifying it's Unicode. Because this is a string at this point. So it's saying it insert it as a Unicode string rather than a normal string. Oops. Okay.
I haven't worked much with Unicode.
Fair enough. Right. So now I am going to quite simply give this another go, and we're gonna oh, wait a minute.
I'll go down.
Ah. Just move you over here. Right.
What was that?
I can't be certain whether this is going to work, but it doesn't really matter either way. What I'm going to do is delete the entire thing now, okay, because we've got all our code, including the inserts. And that's a nice thing about this. I mean, at some point you want to source control it properly, but at least through this PowerShell script, we can run clean because we just did a lot of messing about. So we've got a new database. And now I go to my code, which is here. I'll delete the old thing that we deployed. And the next thing to do is just to make sure that everything we've created is in this file so that it will be in the deployment script. And it's not at the moment. So we've got our create schema table. Then we go to the tables we created, and you can see we've only got 3. Whereas we've now created 6. Just going to update this. So we're going to need 3 more for these 3. So rename. And that should actually be and we'll probably find I've cocked something up en route and we have to sort it out. So don't expect this to work first time. It might, but it might not as well. So let's just grab these 3 stored procs. When I'm fresh, which I'm most definitely not at the moment, and calm, which I'm also most definitely not with our chain going live in a new job, then these sort of things normally work first time. But when I'm rushing a bit and trying to give commentary at the same time, we might find it fails. So rename, Control-C, Control-V, there we go. So I believe that's every object now. Let's double check. So, oh no, yes it is. So schemas, we've got our create schema object. Tables, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stored procedures, we've got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then insert statements, that's the original inserts. We've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we should be able to create all of that. And then at the end, we might even want to create an execute script. So let's add an X. In fact, now let's not do it like that. Let's do it a better way. Let's go. We'll do that afterwards, Jim. So basically, we've got all our objects, yeah? And so what we can do now is we can run this PowerShell script, which will read through each of these files and concatenate them together. So when we run it this time, there'll be more rows in the output. There we go. And so now we've got this script, which is all of those scripts in order. And we can compile it to make sure that it's good code. And it is. And then we can execute it. And it'll be interesting to see if we hit an error. I don't think we will, because the stored procedures should, yeah, it ran through. So that has recreated everything from scratch. So we've now got all the tables, no data in them. Sorry, tell a lie. In the raw one, the data's there because I scripted it out. So we've got our raw data in the tables that are typed, just everything's a string. Yeah. But in our data type tables, they will be empty because although we've created the tables, we haven't loaded the raw data through because we haven't executed the stored procedures. Oh, Gordon Bennett. When this eventually returns, yeah, you see that it's empty, and I'm not going to bother running them, but the other two will be empty as well. I'll go on just to be for completeness. So the data type tables are empty, but what we did do was create our stored procedures. That's right. There it goes again. So in order to populate this block 759 from the raw 759, we'll have to run this stored procedure, USP block, and we know this will work, so we'll execute it. And then that ran with a 0 return value, which is success. So now when we select that, we can see we've got the data in. And then the second one, again, we can execute, and this one should work as well because all was good there. And then the third one, I'm not so sure because that's the one where we were getting our data error. Now we think we might have fixed it, but it will be pretty lucky if this one works. I'm expecting it to fail. Let's see. But you can see there that, yeah, so it has failed again. So what I can do is I can either modify it and edit it in here and it will alter the stored procedure, but I'm not doing that because I'm trying to maintain my little source control that I've got going on over here with the PowerShell script. So instead of modifying it, I'm going to open the file, and now we can try and run it. Instead of running the entire thing and trying to insert in that file, we can try and just run the select statement, and when we execute that, we know it's going to fail, but where did it fail? I'm hoping we've got past row 800, but I'm not convinced we have. No, it's failed at the same point, which is annoying because if this would just load through, you've got good data that you can work with in SQL. But 80%, well, not 80%, but 50% of most data efforts, if it's not too complex, is getting that blimmin' raw data in and converted to the right data type, which was the minimum point I wanted to get to tonight. And we are almost there, but this blimmin' thing isn't working. I guess we look at the raw data in here, which I did insert, and see whether it's, again, at 802, is it, what's it done at 802? Has it reconverted it for us on insert? Ah, look at that. Question mark.
Why is that?
I don't know. I'm wondering whether varchar 20 is a problem. I'm going to try making it bigger because there's no problem with making that bigger. So let's just go for altering this code.
How did we must have put that question mark in there, no?
It's possible. I would agree.
I mean, that's part of the. I mean, that's raw data is a question mark, right?
Yeah, it's possible, but I don't think so. The thing it came from was this insert, and oh damn, I've closed the notepad. I'm going to need it. Okay. That's Control G. Yeah, no, I think the raw data is right. It's not, but it's not 20 characters, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the row below. Why is that row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Ah. Let me go back to the calculator, make sure we get the right value. But I didn't So I messed that up. It's a good job I didn't save it. Right, so that's now correct, but that's actually irrelevant because what we want to find is the row in my insert statements. Control F, Control V. So this is where I'm inserting into the raw table the data that I scripted out, and there is correct. Oops.
Where did the question come from?
Yeah, exactly. And there's no way this is more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 characters. So varchar 20 is big enough. It's spurious, Jim. It doesn't make sense. I guess out of interest, we could put that row in at the end, but don't really like to mess with the data, right? Because the whole point is that this is the actual track. This is people's rhoc, right? We don't want to be messing with the order and things.
Right. Yeah, the transactions have to be in order.
Yeah, exactly. What I could do as a trial is just comment it out and try again, see if that's our only problem. Because if we've got one problem, it might be worth persevering. If we've got a shitload of problems.
Or if you just have to, okay,
Sorry, Jim?
insert statement inserted it without a question mark. But why don't we just insert it into the
I could edit this, but no, I can only edit the top 200. I could try updating it at the end.
Yeah, I mean, we could alter whatever. We could update it again and see if the question mark goes away. I don't know how the question mark got there to begin with.
No, I don't. What I'm going to suggest is before we fix this row, let's comment it out. Let's recreate this table, which we can do because we've got the code, benefit of having the code nicely organized. So I can recreate, now this is block, this is transactions, isn't it? Everything else is okay. So if I execute that, and then this is now commented out, so that won't work. So won't execute rather. So if I execute this now, we should have a table without that row in for a second. And then what we can do is see if the store procedure runs through on everything else, i.e. if we just got one problem, right, or if we got more than one.
Well, we can always look for the capital E in there, right?
That's true. But we only got to 802. Yeah, and we haven't again, so.
What? How could that be?
Let's see where it fell over. How close did we get to the end? So you got 2000. So it probably is capital E's in the raw data or in the loaded data. I'm wondering whether you can set a parameter in SQL to say, don't do scientific format.
Well, if you're reading it as a string, I don't understand why it's using scientific anyway. I mean, Excel,
yeah.
Okay, Excel would do that automatic typing, but that's not normally, Access wouldn't do that. I don't get it. You're not using Excel, are you?
No, not using Excel.
So,
Could try this. Looks like it's a problem converting to decimal. Whereas if you go through float, it works. Because, so I think let's put back this insert for starters, yeah, so that we get the bad data. Then let's recreate the table. Then let's re-execute the stored procedure, although it's not. No, sorry. Then let's re-execute the insert statements. That's what I needed to do, and I've just closed them down, so that was stupid. So there we go. So the table's now empty. Code insert. So that's this lot. So we'll insert it all into this raw table. And it inserted okay. And then if we search where, oops, save that for a minute. Now, what was it? I think that's transaction hash, yeah? So that's our problem row. Now it's got a question mark already. Why has it done that? I mean, well, that's the problem, isn't it? That it's got a damn question mark at the end.
well, what you wanted to put back the E format, right?
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
This is the one where you modified it.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah, fair enough. Now I follow what you're saying. What you said was right.
So
there's only one. So maybe we go back to the E format, which unfortunately, but it's 8 points. So the E format is 8.6. Maybe we can find another E in here.
Yeah.
Same, there aren't any.
Now, why did it stop at? It stopped at 1,000 or something, right?
Yeah.
We don't know why.
Sorry, that's the top 1,000. It's in case you've got millions of rows.
Okay.
There you go. So it wants to be 8.6 E minus, and it was 7, wasn't it? And I guess we can check that, because if we go back to here, it's minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. 10 to the minus 7. So it's definitely minus 7. So that's what we want to put back in there now. And then this row will then be the same as the other row. So the way to do that is...
if you alter it to take off the question mark or put back the E, it should work. It shouldn't stop, right?
Yeah. So back to the inserts. I agree, basically. And then we want to put back in this. Yeah. And now if we recreate the table and reinsert, let's close those while they're correct. So this is actually correct. That's back to the original format, right? So we've essentially not messed with the data at all now. Could I just put a blooming question mark in again? What is wrong with this damn row, Jim?
Hmm.
Pretty blooming frustrating. Anyway, let's not get frustrated because we're not far off from having good data, right? It's like, I think it's like there were 5 or 6 of these values. It's all the same problem almost, apart from this mysterious question mark. Let's just find it. Let's find all of the ones with E now, because I suspect they're our only issue. Yeah, so the others are all scientific format. So why is this one not? It's bizarre.
I don't know. You just put the scientific format back. How did we lose it?
Well, it is. It's 8.6 E minus 7. They've just insisted on sticking a question mark in again. What I might do is the following. So I'll show you the import process, yeah? So I'm going to re-import to a new table and re-script the things.
Yeah, I think that would be the best thing to try.
Yeah.
The other one, the untouched ones don't have question mark. And it could have something to do with Unicode.
Yeah, it could. So if I basically, I want to import data, and I want to do it from a flat file, and I want to browse and find my flat file, and it's a CSV. Now we have messed around with this, so I'm wondering whether we want to download it from scratch again. Shall we be completely clean and take it from Ian's file so that everybody knows?
What did you do? You changed it back to the one back to the E format, right? We probably should be okay.
I think it would be better to just
Download again.
Yeah, I think so. Let's be clean. So that's the one. And download that.
You can keep talking. I'll be right back.
No problem.
We'll be on the recording.
That makes sense. So I'm going to take a clean copy. This is the only file we've touched. I'm going to the transaction, paste that in. I'm going to rename it to the same name as we had before and then delete the file that we messed around with. Rename that to the same name. And then I'm going to import that using the SQL Server mechanism. So this is now clean. Right, advanced. What did we do? We did 500 except where we didn't. So I need to check the file types. And the file types on this raw, it were set to all 500s and a 20 at the end. So columns 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, and 20. Might go on this one to 30 just in case that was a problem. Next. And then I want to import it into a SQL Server database. And come on. Some unbeknown reason, it's taking its time again.
Oh, it's almost 8,000 records.
I think it's probably because of that. Yeah, but 8,000 records should be nothing. So I'm just going to rename this to be the same table, raw. And then I'm going to delete this raw because if it already exists, the thing will fail. Come on. Come on. It's hung, which is pretty annoying. Damn computers. Oh. Right. Ay, 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 ay.
Is it behaving?
I would say not, but I'm getting to a point I can try again. CSV. Right, so we've got a clean file. Advanced that everything to 500 apart from the last one, which was previously set to 20. I'm going to set it to 30 just in case there was a problem on running out of things. And then destination is SQL Server. We use a native client. Windows Authenticate. Raw. And that's what we want to call it. So next, I'm going to save this to the file system. Save sensitive. Next, browse. Go to here. Save that there. Yes. Right. fingers crossed. So now run at least. Yeah, as expected. There we go. So we've now re-imported it. So having re-imported it, I now want to script out the inserts. Oops, wrong one. That's because I didn't refresh. So this is just manually imported at the moment. We can still look at row 802, but immediately I want to script out that insert script. But looking at 802, is it any better? It hasn't got the question mark, so we're back to where we were. So that makes this worth scripting out. So I'm going to do that now. Tasks, generate scripts, specific objects this time rather than everything. Next, on the advanced tab, we can decide schema only, data only, or both. This time we want data only. I'll save it to a new query. In fact, I might just save it to file. Yeah, next. Did I have to specify the file? I did. Normally I save it to a query window. C source R SQL code. Insert into save. Yes. Save as Unicode text is standard. And it's done it. So now this file, just compare it to the others. Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah. So what I'm now going to do is truncate this table so it's empty. In fact, no. Yeah. So okay. So that's our insert script looking okay. It's hung again. God, this thing's really misbehaving tonight. Always does with a demo, right? I want to script this table out now because we changed the structure slightly. So that's the create table statement, and I'm just going to update that in our code. So file, open, file, create tables, that one. I'm just going to replace that basically because you can see that's 20 there. Whereas I've made it 30 now. In the hope it might help. Right. So now, I'm just going to check that script. One thing I always do using this method is make sure you get your individual scripts right. And that is right. I did save it correctly. Fine. So now we could drop and recreate again, but we don't actually need to at this point. So because we're in development, we know that we've just imported this in the correct manner, albeit via an import. So the only difference will be doing it via the inserts if we were to drop and recreate. But let's just try and run this and see how we get on. And we got the same problem. And if we modify it, that's because I'm inserting it. So it's rolling back the whole transaction if I run it with the insert. If I just run it with the select, it actually shows me how far it got. And surprise, surprise, it got as far as 801. So I think now where we're at is we know that we've got one problem probably in the whole thing, and it's the E in this raw table. I think we've got 5 rows where the
Did you do the double cast? Did you cast?
I don't think so, but I will listen to you. Go on.
There was that example you showed from the Stack Exchange. Did 2 casts. Casted to.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm with you. Yes. No, I haven't done that. You're right. I think I lost the code, but it'll be in my history. Well remembered.
I thought you had it commented out at the bottom of the.
I think I did, but I think that was just in a query rather than one of the scripts. I might be wrong. But if we open the, I think it was in a query I closed, Jim.
Well, did you just find it?
No, because once it's closed, it's gone if I didn't save it. So that is suggesting that I write a case statement here. So let's do that. Let's give it a go.
That was.
Don't know what the at D is though. So for us, it would be quantity.
Else.
I'm wondering whether not to bother with. We can always get it again, but as a first attempt, I'm wondering whether to just do that because.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just give that a go.
Well, the only problem I can see with that is if there's a number that doesn't fit in a float.
Yeah.
Can you do a double? Or what's it? How big is the float?
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
A float should be good enough. It'll give us a good approximation, right?
Yeah. Didn't like something there. That ran, didn't it, before? I mean, it failed, but it didn't complain of a... Yeah. So this should run as well. Maybe I just selected the wrong thing. How bizarre.
There's no double.
Well, it's. I thought it did, and it came up in blue, suggesting it recognises the keyword.
Oops.
But it doesn't seem to like it much, does it?
Do we have enough parentheses and stuff?
Yeah, well, it worked with float. I mean, it failed because of the numeric types. Real. I think it's real. Microsoft or transact SQL. In fairness, it was Sybase. Yeah, so that one ran, but it still had a problem at, surprise, surprise, 802. Damn thing. Ah. Idiot. That we don't know if it worked because we were still running with the one that didn't. It ran. That's done it. Boom. Job done.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for your input. So we're in business now. So now execute that, close, yes, and let's just prove that we can reload the lot. So we've altered none of the data, the raw data. We're clean, and what I was trying to do as a minimum tonight has worked. However, really, we want to actually do the damn calculation, right?
Yeah.
But at least we're at a solid start point now, right? We know SQL will cope with the data volumes. We know we can write it. And with luck, let's not speak too soon, right? Let me regenerate and rerun this and prove that it works, yeah? So delete that. So that should have done everything except run our free stored procedures. So let's just run those. Execute the first one. And we'll set up a stored procedure to just do this automatically. Yeah, sort of like a master stored prop to run all the ones that need to run. But first, let's prove that they do run. So they all ran. So my hope is we now have I think we have a row count report. Where are those reports? Standard reports. There we are, reports. Thought there was one that told you all your tables. But no, that's all DBA stuff. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've used them. I normally write my own, sort of select count star from tables, but I don't think we'll waste the time. Select top 1000, select count. It's a data type ones we want.
What are you doing?
I was just doing the row counts so that people could see that that we'd loaded the right number of rows for each of the tables, just as a sanity check. So there we go, execute.
Oh, okay, so you.
Now is that actually right? That seems dubious to me, but maybe it is. Maybe they were the same. Let's check in the files.
That's odd.
Yeah. So let's just check these row counts. Yeah. So the transaction table has 7559, 7559, and then the 9371 has, that doesn't look right, 7335. So I think I might have loaded the same one twice. I'm guessing this one will be right. So that's wrong. This one, 759.
No, I don't.
I reckon this will be right. I think I've just, so that's 684847. 6847. That's 6848. Let's check.
I have 6849.
No, it's
Oh, it's
48.
my last row. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right. That one was right because there's no header in these because it gave me a problem. If you look, row 1, there's no header in Ian's files. So that's right. It's 6848, correct. There is a header in, so the two block files had no header. There is a header in the transaction file, which is why it was one different. So you've got a transaction hash. So that comes out at 7560, which means minus the 1 is 7559. So those two are right, but it looks like I've accidentally, like a muppet, loaded the wrong one into here. So I'm just gonna.
We don't need that one anyway.
I think we do because, like, for instance, that address that we looked at that didn't exist originally. There you go. That's why. It's wrong. It's my code that was wrong, not the. I thought I'm certain I've brought the right file in, and I had. So if we just execute that again, close, and then just file, recreate the table.
That's got 7336, right?
Well remembered. I didn't know, but yes, you're right. And then if we just execute this stored procedure here, which will now be correct when we regenerate the actual code base, then our check.
I'm saying we only need that final value to, at the end. We should come up with the same when we apply all the transactions, we should come up with the same final values.
Yeah.
So it's just a check. It
is. I'm going to, one last time, Jim, and then we'll move on. I think it's right now. I'm going to delete the whole thing. Save for test. Source control. Sorry. Run with PowerShell. Done. That 10 seconds, so that's basically regenerating everything, and we'll still need to run the stored procedures when it's finished. So now we execute the first one, we know this is right. Execute the third one, we know this is right. And then the second one was the one that was wrong, but we think we've fixed it. So we'll execute that, and hopefully now everything is good. So if I do my test row count, hopefully this will update to 7336. Boom. Right, sorry about that. So that was where I wanted to get to an hour ago when you joined me.
Right.
So, but IT's IT, right? So
what is it, like 2:30 in the morning for you or something?
It's 1 o'clock, so I'll do another hour, unless you're fed up.
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we can finish it, but
But we can give it a go, right?
we can give
What
it
do
a
we need?
go.
What do we need to do? That is the next question, isn't it? So I've got the problem I've got with tomorrow, Jim, because we've only got like 24 hours, right? My problem tomorrow is I've not done work I should have done today in order to do this, and when I go in, I'm going to have a crap day, and then they're going to probably ask me to stay late. So I don't know how much time I'm going to get tomorrow, but I think we give it a go now. We've got this far.
Yeah, we'll give it a go, and I guess you can just send everything up to GitHub.
Yeah.
If we don't finish, right?
I can zip it up and send it you on Discord. The other thing, while I'm thinking about it, is SQL Server Developer Edition is what I'm using. Oops, if we go back to so you can develop it. Yeah, so if you go here, I'll just paste this in Discord. And then you can scroll down and you can download the developer edition. It's fully featured, free edition, licensed for development and test in non-production environments. So you're entitled to use that, and it's not a trial. You can use it forever. Yeah. So you just go to the link I just sent you here and just scroll down and take the developer edition. And what you'll also need is the client that we were using. So this development environment, SQL Server Management Studio, and that's all you'll need. So if you install the standard, we can do it now if you want.
That's all right.
Yeah, but so that's the second one, is just so that you've. So the first one's the database engine, and that's here. So the second install's this one's very straightforward. Install this one. If you just do the basic or the standard or the basic installation, it should run straight through. And
I don't see it on Discord, please.
I put it in. Oh, I've done the wrong one. Let me delete it from the rhoc general. Yes, apologies. Thank you for that.
Oh, that's okay. You can leave it there.
It's all right. I've deleted it now. So thank you, Jim. So here you go. So let's do the SQL. So this is SQL Server 2019 Developer Edition. SQL Database Engine. And that's free to use. And then this one is your client, which is your development environment. So SSMS equals SQL Server Management Studio equals IDE. So that's that. So you could perhaps be trying to install those in the background if you want. It's up to you. Oh yeah, so now I was going to say, so now we're ready to start development. So we've got this, and what was I doing? Oh yeah, sorry, I'm getting tired.
So, how do we want to do that? Do we want to?
I think the question is, do we follow what you were doing yesterday, or do we look at, is it this one? No. Yes, this is that one. So I think we either look at the spec that I presume Greg wrote up, or we accept the table manipulations you were doing yesterday in your Google Sheets example, which I think is also around. Where's Discord gone? Sorry, I should have.
It's interesting that Greg is still looking, keeps opening the spreadsheet.
Opening your spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Ah, interesting. Well, if I can help our chain for once, rather than you teach me stuff, it would be an honour.
Now I had some problems with I don't think
I'm listening.
Greg's example works.
You do or you don't?
I don't. I mean, we could,
I mean, I thought your code was getting close, basically.
Yeah, my code is very close. So
yeah,
let's do it that way. And the thing is, you need initial balances, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, so basically, you need to copy the initial balances to a
yeah.
You need a copy of those.
The initial balances are 7598592 block. Yeah.
Right, and all of those rocks are good, except for the Pythia rocks.
Yeah.
Okay, so their good rocks have to be set to 0.
Right.
Okay, so in other words, we're going to do a process here where we're going to copy the initial balances.
Yeah.
We're going to set and then I guess we can create a balances table.
Can't believe Select Top 1000 is doing this.
Mm-hmm. If you look at my spreadsheet,
yes.
Okay, you'll see that there's a balances table, and the way that we create that is we take the union of all the initial balances.
Yeah.
The accounts for the initial balances, and then the from and the to account of all the transactions.
Right. So do I need to do a join?
If you want to make a list of all the accounts, yes, you need to do that. I guess
Right.
That's what we should do.
Yeah.
We should make a table of balances, include
Yeah.
all the balances, set the balances for everything except Pythia.
Yeah. That makes sense what you've said. It just doesn't help that my SQL Server isn't working. I give up at times, Jim.
SQL Server died again?
It's looking that way. Why? I'm wondering whether to reboot.
It says not responding, huh?
Hmm. No, it really isn't. It's second time I've.
So what happens if you hit the X in the corner? Nothing?
Nothing. It's just hung. Let's try that. See if it'll exit cleanly. Right. See if exiting cleanly helped. I'm not confident. Let's just take a different table. It's not the one we want, but Gordon Bennett.
So we want to join. Well, it's not exactly a join. We just want to do a union of the.
Anyway, I think I'm going to log out, Jim, because this is awful, right? I'll be back in a minute. Do you want to stop recording?
Very good.
Sorry, I can't really. Might even just restart. Now I'll just sign out. Hi, Jim.
Hey.
Let's see if we've got a working database. Can you see my screen?
No.
That's because I haven't shared it, I think. You see it now?
Yep.
Come on, work, you bugger. Oh, damn it.
All right. Not respond.
It's pretty damn frustrating. I'm going to kill Discord, but I doubt it's Discord that's causing the problem.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not Discord. I mean,
I guess it could be.
I would. I would consider the Zoom screen share to be suspect.
Possibly. In which case, what do we do? Because we can't work together very well if we.
Well, the I mean, when you, I think.
Shall I stop the screen share for a minute and at least report whether
Yeah.
my SQL works?
When you're typing code, you can probably share and then turn the share off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, let me.
I turned off the video in case that was.
Yeah, I just can't imagine it was that. At the same time, I don't know what else it is because that's the. I haven't coded on here for 6 months, but this is a machine that's only a year old, and it always worked fine for me in the past.
Well, when we looked at the monitor, it was, the CPU and the memory was
Max,
not pegged. It wasn't.
this is just this is crazy, Jim. I can't even select the top 1,000 rows. It's no different. What I'm wondering is whether I hand my solution over to you, but I mean, it doesn't really give you a lot, does it?
Now I probably have problems too. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, it's returned.
You probably have more memory than I do.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know. I think I have 12 gig.
Can you see my screen? It did actually return at long last, so it might have been busy booting up. Let's see how this one does now. You can see my screen again.
Yep.
I mean, it's ludicrous.
So you just waited and it came back.
Basically, yeah. Still took. I mean, this should be instant, right? The standard functionality is. Yeah, this can process like millions of rows, right? If not, maybe not billions on a machine like this, but should be able to handle millions of rows in a database, and we've got several thousand. I mean, it's crazy. It's unworkable, right? That's why I'm giving up. I think maybe with this one, Jim, I will try to rejoin as and when I can in and amongst my day job. Is there any point me giving you the code I've got at the moment?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know that I'll be able to do anything with it because I'm just not familiar with.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean. Let me explain. So basically, the files are in this folder here. Yeah, so I can zip this up, and that's the original files. What? Surely not. Something weird's going on my machine, mate. And then in the source control, it's important that if you're going to use my PowerShell script, you use exactly this directory path here, because the text file is hard coded. You see, it's C source control, and then everything else is underneath. So it'll only run the right click, run with PowerShell. You'll need your PowerShell switched on, which it probably is by default, to generate that script if you want to regenerate. But I can zip that up as well, or at least I thought I could, but even compresses it. I wonder whether that's because I know what I'll do. It might be because it's off my C drive. I'll just take Control C. hope this is right. Ah. Come on. We'll find out in a minute. Right, will this compress? Yeah, cool. So I can put that up on Discord, I would hope. It's only 5 meg, right? Let's drop it in. Oh, check that out. I'll send it to you, and it's up to you if you put it elsewhere. Jim. If you want, Jim, you can share your screen and we can try and, we've got enough time till 2 o'clock to install and get you up and running.
It's installing, but it's not going quickly.
Yeah, oh, good. Do you want to share your screen? Because I think we're done with mine, given it won't work, right? I'll say that, just give it.
I don't know, you know, if you could, probably would be good for you to start coding the script.
Yeah. Do you want to tell me what you think I should do?
I think that well, I have to figure out exactly, I mean, how to do this. I mean, we're going to select from the original file.
Yeah. From this one.
Yeah. We're going to select the account number and the balance.
Right. Yeah.
And we're going to do a union of that. Well, let's see. We have to, now we have the 2 in the front fields from the other, but we don't know the balance. I mean, in other words, rhocs are sent to accounts that are not on either list. That's
yeah.
So I'm not sure how you make the list of all the balances. Maybe for now we should just take the list of all the balances from my spreadsheet and use that.
As in this. But how did you calculate these?
So if you look at accounts, you'll see how I got it. Okay. You see the expression at the top there? Oops, go, it's only the top line, number 1. Right there is where I do a union of all the accounts. And I do a unique, all the unique accounts. Sources here. Okay, now if you go to the balances sheet.
Yeah.
Okay, then you can see in the first column, click on a balance. Okay, you can see that it does a lookup.
Go ahead.
And if the count's not on the initial sheet, it sets it to 0.
Got you. Yeah, so you're right. I wanted a union, right?
Well, yeah, if you're going to recreate this, but for expedience, I think we might want to just take the initial balance sheet, CVS, and use it.
Well, I think I can get there quite quick. I mean, this is the beauty of SQL. It's just a shame my damn thing isn't working. So is it the to or the from or both?
Both.
That makes sense. So let me show you what I'm doing here, yeah? So
if you get just the from, if you get just the to and the initial, that should be enough. Because it can't, in other words, any ones that had rhoc in the beginning are in the first list.
yeah,
And any accounts that get rhoc are going to be in the to field, not the from field.
I see. But I could just do this, right? And just, I mean, I don't think I even need to do this wrapping it up. I think it's unique anyway. But if I was to do select into a temporary table, into, now what did you call it? Hash accounts. Yeah. And then we can use that. And then we've already got, if it works. Oh yeah.
Well, we don't need to have an accounts thing. We can have a balance thing directly, right? Or you want to do accounts?
Well, I was just going to mimic literally your logic.
Okay, because then once you. Because then you want to do a join.
Yeah.
Of the accounts and the initial balance, right?
Oh, what's wrong? I'm tired, so I'm annoyed with myself. But done. Oh yeah, I know. See. Yeah.
Okay, we decided we don't need the select from.
We don't need this. Does it do any harm? Apart from,
didn't do any harm, but
you certain we don't need it?
Right. In other words, if we don't send rhoc to any field, it's not going to have any rhoc.
Yeah.
And if we can't send from any account that doesn't already have rhoc.
Yeah. What have I got?
Okay, now there's a button here that says install SMS.
Yes, you should do that. Absolutely. Where's dim date? There it is. Oh, best date period. I love it. That's what I want. In my function. So I'm just looking for some code. I'd have been quicker to Google it. Where are my temporary tables? I'm going to Google it.
What What are you doing?
Just Googling for a bit of code. If exists, drop temp table. SQL. I just cannot believe how slow my SQL Server engine is behaving. It's just, I mean, we've got it now, and I can do. So, did you have 8985 rows? That's all our accounts. Hopefully you did. On the accounts tab. Yeah, so we've got the same. So I've just created the accounts, and then I can use that to create the balances now.
Right. You want to do you want to do a join.
Yeah.
Of the account and the balance from the first sheet or 0. Right, now I'm not sure how you do that.
That's all right. I can do that easy enough.
I guess
Did call it ether address, didn't I? Yeah.
left outer join.
It says keep any rows in the first table, regardless of whether there's a match with rows in the second table. And then what we want is we want the a.ether address, comma, e759 dot rhoc balance, and it wants to be is null. That is, if this doesn't find a value because it's not in there, then put 0, and that should give you your balances. Yeah.
Oh boy. Good thing I'm not doing this.
Does that make sense?
I used to be a wizard at
It's easy to forget, eh, mate?
I just don't remember it at all.
So that's your initial value, yeah? You want to call it initial value?
Well, that's what we call balances. Okay, now I kept it. You don't have to keep a copy of it. Okay, I kept a copy of it because I needed to. Oh, wait a second. We have two more things. We have to move the. We need another column.
Yeah.
Okay, which is the scam.
Yeah. Which for now is 0, right? Unless.
Yeah, we're just going to move the. We just have to. Then we have to take the Pythia rocks and set the Pythia scam to this, and then set the Pythia rocks to 0.
Yeah, declare Pythia address. Declare
Barcelona.
Yeah. There might be someone else in the community who can pick this up, of course. they? You had them somewhere.
They're on the transaction hash page. Okay, and they're over in
The column H, but which is which?
the naughty list.
Yeah. Which is which?
Barcelona is the EB148. First one.
That's Barcelona.
Yeah.
And this is why I was suggesting doing it in SQL, because I think now we've got it in SQL, it should be much easier to implement the logic, right?
It should be.
Just have. That'd help if I could spell.
I don't understand. I mean,
I'm just checking that I've set the addresses correctly in variables. And we have. Yeah. So are they correct? Is that the Pythia address and that the Barcelona address? Because now I can basically, we want to do, so we've got initial value, and then you want, is it T and S? So I've just basically just set two variables to these so that we can use them when we come down here at a later date. But first of all, we're back on the balances sheet, and we want the valid rhoc and the scam rhoc columns, yeah? So my understanding is the valid rhoc is always set to this value unless the address is the Pythia or Barcelona address.
now every time we do a transaction, that's going to change.
Okay. Of course it is. So are we right to be on this tab, or are we on the wrong tab? What's the next step forward? Should we be on the transaction tab now? So at the moment, all I've got is accounts. And I've joined the accounts to the initial values to create the balances that you can see here.
Okay, so now we have to move the Pythia rhoc into the scam column. Do we have a scam column? We don't have a scam column. Probably should have put a 0 there.
Okay, so comma.
Scam column. For the,
I think we do want a new temporary table here into hash. Now what have you called it? Let's stick with your spreadsheet because it is what it is. As hash balances, right? Yeah. So we'll do again.
So okay, and then you have to put a 0. You want to select the address from accounts. Okay, you want to join. Okay.
Let me be running that because we've seen it takes a while. Oh, that was pretty quick. Oh, sorry. I'll let you talk to me, Jim. I want to do what?
Okay, well, we have an account number and we have a balance, and then we need a scam balance, which should be initialized to 0. So we basically only need three columns. All right, we have 2 columns already.
Yeah, we got.
We need a third column. So okay, so
What I could do.
just put 0, right?
Well, I'm wondering whether I want to put that as the setup, and then I'll do an update. Yeah. So if I do this, so that we've actually got the balances table. Oh,
You already have the balances. You already have a table with the balances. Right?
I do that. Yeah, but what I'm thinking is,
the initial balances you already have in a table. You don't need to have it again.
yeah, but I've now got this, right? And what I'm thinking is, oh, bear with me. Sorry, Jim.
Okay, so
So we've now got this, but the Pythia and Barcelona are valid rhoc. So the next thing to do is to identify the Pythia and the Barcelona account. Sorry, let's take non-zero. So the Pythia and the Barcelona account, and set this to 0 and this to the full amount, right?
what?
No? So the moment in here and here, I've got the same value.
Right, you didn't need that. That's okay.
Okay, I can reset it. But what I was thinking was, if I did that, and then on the Barcelona account, I can identify it, and I can update this to 0, and
Barcelona had 0.
Okay.
Right. You don't have to update Barcelona. Only the Pythia
Right.
address has to be updated.
So if I do that, oh, God damn it.
Select. Select star.
So there you go. So that's the Pythia address with its 58 million.
Yeah. So
before that, I do.
So you want to
update hash balances.
Set the valid rhoc to 0 and the scam rhoc to
the
total.
Yeah. Trying to remember if I remember my updates well enough. Where
now is this going to set it to 0 before you set the scam rhoc, or you want to set the scam rhoc first before you set the valid rhoc to 0?
If you remember, if I remember rightly, SQL doesn't.
It should work. Okay.
Yeah. SQL's set based, so it doesn't work like programming languages. That's a bit annoying. It's type int. So it's created it as type int. That's really annoying. Really annoying.
It made balances an int? What?
Yeah, I think it's probably because if we go back to accounts,
it's like it recognizes it's hexadecimal.
Oh, that's really annoying.
Can we describe the table and see what it is?
Because the scam rhoc is 0, so I think if I change that to 0.0, we might be all right. I think that's why it did it. Let's try again. Invalid object name balances. So still got an arithmetic overflow.
Arithmetic overflow.
I think that failed.
Okay, can we make it, okay, arithmetic overflow, okay, is that because the,
Doesn't make any sense.
well, it does make sense.
Does it?
Well, I mean, some of these numbers are huge, but
True.
the balances.
Yeah, I'm not sure where I'm going wrong.
So
Probably because I probably want to create my balances table with the appropriate. No, we had 38.6. Maybe that's why I did it. What did I? 18. I did.
maybe we want, I don't know.
I'm getting tired and guessing a bit, if I'm honest, Jim. But let's give this a go, and then we'll pause and actually think. No. Convert an expression of data type int. I'm still kind of guessing, if I'm honest. Arithmetic overflow error, convert an expression to data type int. Well, what's it converting to an int?
Well, I would suggest that the balance,
Yeah,
okay, he has balances that are huge.
yeah,
And the problem is that the balances are in nano rhocs.
yeah,
So they have to be divided by 1,000,000. But if you convert it, if you can get it to convert to decimal rather than integer, it'll probably not overflow. Is there a way that you can make we can make it make the balances decimal?
There should be decimal, right? Because the decimal here, the input is decimal, and we joined it on. So all the balances are hexadecimal. That's fine.
Balances are not hexadecimal.
No, sorry, the addresses are hexadecimal, and then the balances are coming from block 759, which is this table, which is decimal. So it's decimal 38.6. So these things are decimal. And then where I've done the is null, I've put 0.0, which says make it decimal, rather than initially I put 0, but that could have caused a problem. So I changed that.
There's no decimal point in this balance table. Okay, we should probably put one.
Yeah.
We could, but there are no decimal points in the balance table, in the balances at this point. Where we do have decimal points is in the transaction table.
Yeah.
We have our transactions are in rev, whereas our balances are in nano rev.
Yeah.
So is there any way to see how far we're getting with this?
Not easily, no. That's what I'm trying to just do now, but it kind of feels like if I was fresh and I knew what we needed to do, I could probably code it in 2 or 3 hours. But unfortunately, I'm neither fresh nor know what I'm doing. And that has run, you see, and given us the original. And the problem is when I want to try and do an update, that update statement here is failing. So this is the thing that's failing.
Okay. Yeah, it's a set.
And all I'm trying to do is set this to that and set that to this. So I'm trying to swap these two values around.
Right.
Now I could try and do it in 2 statements. I could say set at. This is miserable doing it this way. Now with that run, see that ran.
That worked.
Yeah.
Weird.
And then what would happen if I did?
What did you do?
I wrote it into a variable instead. Here. So that should now have a value, which I could then set the rhoc valid. Then I could set the valid rhoc to 0 and the scam rhoc to the variable.
Okay.
So
Where? Okay. Do the last one. Let's look at it. Select. Right. Do the last select.
yeah.
Wow.
I think we'd need to do the whole thing. Okay, go on. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Do that.
We already did it. We don't want to do it twice.
Oh, this is just painful.
Select start from.
Yeah, so that updated. So now if we run the whole damn thing.
Well, why do we have?
Because just to make it, I'm basically hacking about here.
Now we lost it. We set it to 0, so it won't work.
Yeah, but if we were to rerun all of that, got that arithmetic overflow. No. I think I'm getting tired, Jim. I did know what I was doing up to here. And then this kind of should have worked, really. Without that, so for me, that should have worked. I'm just tidying the code up again to what I think should have worked. So I think that should have worked, but it didn't. We got an arithmetic overflow. Because if I run all of this from the start, take a little while. Where did we get that? On the update balances. So I think the problem is when we're inserting into hash balances here. This is why. You should always split your code out so you can actually see the damn thing. Which I'm going to do now. I'm not totally convinced I fixed it, but I might have. Don't know why we've got red everywhere. There.
You got it to work?
Yeah, so what I wrote worked first time, but I missed my cast on this, which is annoying. I'm going to save this because it is getting us on the right lines.
Okay, so this completely sets up our initial conditions.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have to sequentially process.
I just want to check.
Which I don't know how to do.
Yeah, I just want to check. So while that's done that, we also want to get the Barcelona address, which won't exist, which will be 0, right? But we want to check it.
We don't do anything with it at this point.
But it should still be there at 0, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to rerun that, and it is. So that's correct. And then I'm also just going to select from all of balances, and you can see the others are all. So we've got what we wanted, right?
Well, I missed that, but I think it's right. Scam rhoc.
Yeah. So anything that's not scam rhoc has the same value in initial value and valid rhoc, and a 0 in scam rhoc. Conversely, Pythia and Barcelona should both be 0. It's annoying. Just running a lot again. Conversely, Pythia and Barcelona, there's no scam rhoc yet in Barcelona because it hasn't got there, but it has valid rhoc of 0, and Pythia has been set to be 58 million as scam rhoc. So I think we have got, as you said, our initial conditions.
Right.
So this is initial balances of total and scam rhoc set correctly.
Our HOC is.
Oh yes. Yeah. Relatively higher order calculus. I do know what it stands for. I just yeah. Isn't that the symbol though? No, it's me. I've always said I'm dyslexic, and my mum's always said I don't pay attention.
Yeah.
She might be right. So, in fact, let's sort that.
Oh, well, it has to be changed everywhere, right?
Yeah. Should still run.
Yeah.
Done it everywhere, haven't I? No.
They didn't change these. Yeah.
That was my fault. I'm hoping this will still run. Oh, screw it. I think I've just got it wrong throughout.
Put it back.
Yeah, I think we'll live with the misspelling, Jim.
Yeah.
Bit embarrassing, but hey ho. Yeah. I'd rather have it working than faff around breaking it all, yeah?
Yeah.
Because I think I've just got it wrong all day. I do know better, but hey ho.
Okay, so
That's true. Yeah. Jim, I think I'm going to have to call it a night because otherwise I'm not going to be able to do my work tomorrow. It's 2 o'clock here.
Yeah. Can you give me a real quick idea on how you loop through the transactions and do them one at a time?
Yeah, I can. So you've got T-SQL programming, which will allow you to basically declare very simple C-style while loops. And if we execute that, yeah, but that wouldn't help you. Or what I use generally is cursors as well. Where have I got a simple example of a cursor?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably cursor. We want to.
Trying to find a simple one. I can't think. I haven't used this in years.
What are you looking at? Code.
Yeah, look at there. You go. Yeah, I've got code lying around all over the place. But that is a simple cursor. You can see I'm generating dynamic SQL. So we could declare a cursor. So declare balances cursor for select
well, from, to, and amount and quantity, right?
Yeah, so we do like from balances, and we could select the ether address from balances.
Oh, no. Wait. No,
Okay.
that's wrong. We want to select from the transactions.
Okay, we might as well build something along the right lines, right? So we want to select from the transactions one by one, yeah?
Right.
And we could select our ether address and then open our cursor. And then,
what do we have? We have from, to, right?
yeah. So we declare okay, I'm with you.
What were the field names?
Yeah, bear with me.
From and to and quantity.
Yeah.
That's what we want, from, to, and quantity.
Right, yeah. So it's select from.
The case doesn't matter.
It doesn't, you're right, but it doesn't in Windows, but yeah, it's still nicer to. When we open it, I called it transaction cursor, yeah?
Okay.
So we open it and we fetch the transaction into. Now, what I can't remember is, well, I think you can have 3 variables. So if I was to declare can
you put the name in the select?
Sorry?
No.
I have to declare these first. I think, if memory serves. I haven't written one of these for a while. Bar chart 500, and then the third. So this is going to be the one that we cycle through our rows on. And then
why do you have the from, to, and quantity in brackets there?
I don't really. It's just if I drag this on here, that's how it shows up. It's mainly in case it was a keyword. So suppose the column was called status. Status.
Well, from is a keyword, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yes. So it'd come up in blue and then it wouldn't execute. So just ignore the brackets. They don't exist. That's
okay,
basically.
So won't the names from, to, and quantity work? Why do you have to define other variables equal to the same ones?
So this is selecting the entire table into this cursor, and then I'm opening this entire table, and then I'm fetching row at a time into, and I want to put them into 3 variables. So I'm declaring here the variables. So this is 38,6. Yeah. So now I can fetch the first row into these variables.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
And now that I've got the variables, I can say, well, we're not at the end, fetch status not 0, begin and do whatever I want with them. So for now, I might just print them out, so select them, and then we can see that happen. And hopefully we'll get lots of...
We're going to have 2 cases in here. One case, if the scam equals 0, we're going to have to look up, we're going to have to select the from address from the balances.
Right.
And then
let's just... I think that's right. Let's just run this and see if the blimmin' thing works. What I'm hoping is we'll get lots and lots of result sets. There you go. So it would help if I put as. So there I've just selected that. So, okay, so as. So that's how you do row by row. Does that make sense?
Okay, I guess you want to send this file or pack it up or what?
Yeah, I can send it over. Okay, so I ran the whole lot, but at the end, or it's running the whole lot, it's going all the way through our transaction table.
That could take a while.
Let's just stop that. And I don't think it'll take too long because it's only 7,000 lines, right? So I think
9,000 something, whatever.
9,000. So yeah, but you can see it's doing 1 row at a time, yeah? Proves the point.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we have, we're going to have an if.
Go on.
We're going to get the T and the S.
I'll tell you what, Jim, I'll program till 3 a.m., but then I'm going to have to call it a day. So that's 50 minutes, yeah?
Okay.
But I need a cup of tea, if you'll excuse me. Just for a couple of minutes, yeah? Sorry about that, Jimmy. Still there?
Yep.
Cool. Thanks, mate. So, yeah, so I'm back armed with tea and what have you. Hello.
Okay, so we need to get the T and the S from the from account.
Sorry. We need to get the
T and the S from the balances table in the for the from address. So
got you. So we need to.
We're going to select from balances. Select the T and the S from balances.
Yeah, got you. So let me just remind myself of what's in the balances table.
What do we call them?
Oops. I have to run it from there to make the bloody thing run. But it doesn't take long. Yeah. So now if we scroll down, so you're going to want me to join in here, aren't you?
No.
No? I thought you wanted me to join.
No, I don't think we can join, because the balances table has in it both the T and the S. And what we're going to do is we're going to modify the T and the S.
So
transaction.
Got you. So what you want me to do is an update, yeah? So
I want to get the, well, we can't update until we know what we're going to do. We need to get two values, the T and the S, which is the what do we call them? The scam, the valid and scam rhoc. What is it?
Yeah, valid rhoc _T and scam rhoc _S. But
right.
yeah.
So we need the T and the S. Okay, for the from address.
Right. So we want to select from balances.
From balances where the ETH address equals the from address.
Yeah. So, and do we want to set those to be a variable? So what I'm saying is at the moment that will return you those values, but it'll just print them out. Whereas I think what we're saying is we want to declare.
I thought it was just use that name, valid rhoc T and scam rhoc S.
Don't think it's that simple, because SQL's a bit of a crap language, right? I think.
That's the way I remember it. I mean, the other thing we always did was we said as, and we gave it a name.
Yeah, but I think you're saying you want to get these values. You want to have the values of the from address, right, as variables, and this will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now what that will do is that will take, for this particular row in the transaction, it will look up the from address as valid rhoc here and place it in a variable. Could even call it, just to be a bit clearer. Yeah.
Okay, so we got it. Okay, so now.
At least I think we have. assumes it works.
Now, well, if we just implement my logic correctly, well, I calculate the taint.
Yeah, how do you do that?
that's another variable that we calculate, which is the taint.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's equal to the quantity divided by the quantity T plus S.
So that's is that what you wanted?
Yep.
And then you multiply that by something, don't you? I'm not thinking now. I'll let you tell me. Is it that?
Oh, times S, right.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've now set the taint for this particular line. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so now we want to set, we're going to set two fields.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to update the T.
Oh, excuse me.
See, how do we do that? We update the T.
Are we updating balances?
Right.
Table. Yeah.
We're going to set the T value to the T value minus the quantity minus the taint.
Sorry. I just don't want to forget to do this, or I'll be confused later, where ether address equals. Say again. So in the balances table, I want to set the T value to
the T value minus the quantity minus the taint. Well, you have taint set, right?
Sorry? Yeah. I think that's good.
Okay.
And that's where the ether address is the app from address, yeah?
Yeah.
Right? And then we want to update that table again, don't we?
Well, yeah, we want to update the
to address.
The S address. Oh, wait a second.
Do you want to set the S as well? The scam rhoc. Do you want to set this as well for the from address?
Well, in my code, I only set it if the taint's not equal to 0. But we could always set it. It doesn't matter because we're going to set it to S minus taint.
Yeah. So we're going to set it to
S minus taint.
Yeah. Is that okay? I'm not liking all this red, but it feels right. As long as I didn't check this line. Oh, there you go. It sorted itself out. Bloody hell, it's slow. So set valid rhoc to be the valid rhoc minus the quantity because it's been spent. Why minus the taint? Oh, because the taint's not valid. And then the scam rhoc is is it not plus the taint here? I think you did this last.
You make a good point there.
What's that?
You make a good point there. Why am I subtracting the taint?
Yeah. You should be adding the taint, surely. Because it's correct here.
They're spending
Yeah, that's this bit. They're spending their own rhoc.
Okay. So let's see. So
It kind of feels like they've given up. I don't know. I'm going to let you do the maths because it's late and I haven't read the spec. And I think we should go off what you thought before, and then it's for you guys to sort it out. Let's try and write the code. So let's go with whatever formula you think, and then you can always change it round, right?
yeah, I think that
Because we've only got
we
40
definitely
minutes. Yeah.
definitely we don't want the minus the taint. Okay,
Here.
that's the other side there.
Sorry. So what are you saying I should do here? What should this line read?
Just remove the minus taint.
Here or
Oh wait,
here?
valid rhoc equals valid rhoc minus quantity. Right, minus the taint. Valid rhoc okay, yeah,
To me, that should be a plus.
right. In other words, the total amount of taint has to be the same.
Yeah.
So we're but this is the from.
Yeah. But this is updating the from post-transaction, right? So the valid rhoc
Yeah, this is correct.
before. So this is the valid rhoc before the transaction, right? And what we're setting it to is what it should be afterwards. So we're saying set this to the original amount minus the quantity spent in the transaction. Now that on its own makes sense.
Right, except
But
that
then what you're saying is you want to move the tainted amount from the valid amount to the scam amount, which for me means you take away the taint here, which is correct, and then you add it over here. No? Because this value here is the new value for the valid rhoc, ignoring the taint, but you've calculated how much of this new valid rhoc is tainted. So you take that off because it's tainted, and you add it to the scam amount. That would be my logic, but I don't want to dictate what we write.
well, it's not right because
Okay.
The quantity is going to come off, right?
Yeah.
But some of it's going to come off the scam, and some of it's going to come off the good. Okay, and the taint is what comes off the scam, not the good.
So let's see, because it's coming off the from address, not the to address. So it should be like that.
I'm sorry?
Should it be like that with a plus here?
No, that way guy spent more rhoc than was in the transmission.
Okay.
Transition has to be minus. Then, because what we're going to do is we're going to give that tainted, that tainted rhoc is going to become, we're going to remove it from the S. Right?
Yeah, I follow you. It's because this is the from address, right? So I'm catching up now. So we're taking the quantity of the transaction off the from address.
Yeah.
Which you would expect because that amount has gone to the to address. But what you're then saying,
but it's going to take some of it from the good rhoc and some of it from the bad rhoc.
yeah.
Okay, that's what this is doing.
Yeah. So
Okay, so now
should it not be that? Oh, you tell me. Sorry, it's confusing for me to keep jumping in. But I was wondering, is it not that?
It, minus and plus are associative. You don't need that. You don't need the parentheses.
2 minus 4 would be minus 2.
Yeah, and whether parentheses have no meaning in the addition and subtraction.
I do follow you associativity. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was just trying to conceptually. That's why I was wrapping it up.
Yeah, I guess you could put them. It wouldn't hurt, right?
Yeah, you're quite right. They are associative. But what I was trying to point out is it's the valid rhoc.
Right. Where the tainted rhoc comes out of the S.
Yeah. I got you, but because they have scam rhoc, and the taint will be less than the total scam rhoc,
right,
because of the percentage. So therefore, but you're taking that much from their scam rhoc, and you're taking this much from their valid rhoc. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Right.
Are you happy with that?
I'm happy with that.
Me too. Cool. So on we go. I mean, it'll need verification in the morning when by other eyes, but I believe that makes sense to me. So now we need to update the to address, yeah?
Right. So the to address, now there's a caveat here.
Yeah.
Okay. If the to address is the Barcelona address.
Okay, can I suggest something? We'll come back to the caveat. I follow you, but first let's do it for the general case, yeah? When it's not the Barcelona address.
Okay.
If you want, I can try and write the if.
So
Is there a way for me to see the code and put it on my other screen, Jim?
Yeah, just take tools.
I don't think I'm allowed. I googled it and it said do tools something like show script, and it's not there.
Oh, let me. Maybe I have to add you.
Possibly.
Interesting. So I have your Gmail address.
Mm-hmm.
This is a case where I need your Gmail address too.
Yeah.
And okay. Reload the page, I guess.
Yeah, I think it is doing. So I probably pressed it too early.
Did you reload?
I did, but I think I did it too early. Because when you said reload the page, I was 2/3 of the way through.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about here when you first said it.
Okay, so now you can hit tools.
Yeah, I'll just
Scripts.
let this finish. Right, tools. Oh, thank you. That does look better. Ah, thank you. Script?
Script editor, yeah.
Cool.
It should be the top one.
So,
I don't know. I tried recording another one and it made an empty page.
no worries. So where am I looking? I can't remember. It's around here, is it?
So we're down here where it says, interesting, where it says, it should say Find from account. Or does it say that? Doesn't say that?
Should say what, sorry?
Find from account? Oh, I didn't save it. What?
I was from row to row, and we're on the 2 bit where
Yeah, close this tab and reopen it.
Okay.
I don't know why. It was okay. See where it's. Oh, now what line is it? Down line. Where is it? Line 26. That's where we have.
Okay.
Oh,
You can always, do you want me to?
Sorry.
Sorry? Say again, Jim? So we just did the from address, but did we do all of it, or did we not get it right? So for each...
I don't know what happened. I lost a comment somewhere. 42.
42, yeah.
Where? Oh. Wait a second. Okay, so this is where this is the loop where it finds the account. So when it finds the account, it does the same thing. It gets the T and the S value. So we're gonna do the same thing that we did with the from address for the to address, and we're going to get the T and the S value.
Right, so can we just change that? Can we just do the opposite?
Yeah.
Is that right? So I've literally changed that minus for a plus, and
right.
This minus for a plus, because this has disappeared from the valid rhoc on the from account, so it's gone to the valid rhoc on the to account, and vice versa. Well, not vice versa, contra whatever. This has gone from the from account, and so it's gone to the to account. That feels right to me in the normal case. And the only exception to that is if it was Barcelona or Pifia account, then it should become invalid rhoc, right? In which case, this whole value would go over there. So if it was and we've got to code this in, but it'd be like that. Or it'd be like, more to the point, it'd be like that, right? No, maybe not.
It looks right.
Did it look right?
Okay, so now we have the caveat, and then we're done.
Yeah, so you think this is correct, do you?
Yeah.
Right, so, but the caveat... Sorry? I think what we want then, and what I can't remember is if case statements work, but I think we want case when to address equals at or in. Don't know if you can do in. Equals at Pifia.
Barcelona.
So, okay, sorry. It's not looking good. Case when then
so if it's Barcelona, then we set the case equal to the equal to the quantity.
okay.
Any rhoc they receive is scam.
Yeah.
So okay, and then we still want to do the.
I'm not sure I've got my syntax right, which doesn't help.
Isn't it? So case when, condition, then result. That's right.
Yeah, but I don't think
you don't want to else there. You want to do that in every case.
Well, case when it's a Barcelona account, then do that. Otherwise,
oh, I see.
Yeah, but the problem is I don't think my code's right. I don't think the syntax is right.
The syntax is right.
Well, no, it's logically right for a case statement, but I don't think it's correct SQL because of all this red.
Yeah, well, it's when condition, then result. When condition, then result is correct.
Wonder if I can do it like that.
Else, result. This is, I'm looking at the page from W3 school, so I don't wonder if I should be looking at the page from Microsoft.
I think I was going to say, yeah, I don't think that's going to help as much. Set valid rhoc equals case when, then set it to that else. But I'm guessing really on the syntax.
Right. Well, you got the right syntax according to W3 schools. Let me look for Microsoft here.
Yeah, T-SQL, MSDN, they're good searches. So T-SQL update when, update case. I want to use a case statement to update some records in SQL. Let's see what that throws up. And it's thrown up this, which is not far off. So let's just paste this in.
I mean, it looks right.
Yeah, set valid rhoc t equals case when something then. Somehow they've just made it look nicer. Got nicer spacing. Maybe it is right.
I mean, it looks right according to this thing here.
And according to this, right? That looks like I have done it right. That's a good guess.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Ah, okay, that's why. So these are decimal 38.6, so that would explain the red. That was just a typo. It's close. When at2 address equals they've got it in brackets, but I can't imagine that. Maybe it does matter. Surely not. Doesn't like this. Ah,
They
is it
do.
at Barcelona address? That'll be why.
What do we have? Oh, account. They
Okay,
do have it in parentheses in these examples.
sorry?
They do have the parentheses in the when in these examples I'm looking at here.
Okay. It's very
In
odd.
other words, they don't always have it. No, they don't.
So I don't think you need
Some
them.
examples, they always have the parentheses. Other examples, they don't. Oh, well.
Okay, so it looks like we might then... I haven't set the valid rhoc. Maybe I need to set it. Am I setting it to itself?
Yeah.
I am, aren't I?
Yeah. We, wait, valid rock.
I need an equals, I think, after my valid rhoc. I think that's the problem. Yeah, so when it's the Barcelona address, then is it then valid rhoc equals 0?
Yeah.
Are we sure?
Valid rock equals 0. Yeah, they don't get it. Anything sent to them is invalid.
But I'm saying the total balance here, Jim. You're aware of that?
What?
This would set the Barcelona address balance to 0 in essence for total rhoc.
That's fine. It's always going to be 0.
Okay, cool.
They don't. They never had or will ever have any valid rock.
Got you. And that makes sense. So the whole quantity goes. So I think the logic's right there. I just don't know why the code's wrong.
Did you try running it like this exactly?
Sorry? What do you mean? I've not seen an example that works like this, but definitely what I'm trying.
I can't really read this too well. Incorrect syntax near equal sign.
Yeah. So I think it doesn't like this, but if I take this off, it still doesn't like it. And what I determined from that was I thought it needed to be set to something, which would make sense. And so I set it to 0, and it's still not happy.
Well,
What would happen if I just
update balances, right? Where
I'm saying valid rhoc here. I got it, I think. I think this just needs to be like that. And then I need a second one for the scam rhoc. I think. That's right. I think I've got it.
okay, yeah,
Do you see what I'm saying?
yep, I see it.
Good, man. So
you're trying to.
still not sure I'm doing it right, but I'm trying to split out the two.
Yeah. Well, the way I did it is, is when it was Barcelona, I set the taint to be the whole, the total, the quantity. And then,
Yeah.
I just updated it as normal.
I don't think that's worked either on the syntax. Can you see the different? You can see what I tried to do. But it still doesn't like
It
it.
still doesn't like that equal sign.
No.
Line 81. I don't see the lines though. Line numbers.
No, SQL's rubbish like that.
So
It's there. So it's all right now with this 0. Ah, yes, of course. Thank you. You good man.
okay, now there's still a red underline under the 1 equal sign.
It's okay with this one, isn't it?
Yeah. It's okay with that one. Set.
Maybe I have to update them separately. Which is a bit crap, but there. I think it's accepted that, right? It's a bit, it feels like rubbish SQL because you can't be efficient, but it is correct, yeah?
Looks like.
Should we give that a whirl?
Give it a whirl.
There'll be a lot of testing to do. Well, I've got 10 minutes and then I'm really going to have to call it a day or I won't be able to function tomorrow.
So what did we get here? What did it do?
It's going through every single line of the transactions table, yeah, in this cursor. And as it goes through, so it's fetching it in line by line, and then it's doing the logic that we described, applying the balance updates to both the from and the to addresses. But I think you'll want to check the logic. But at least it appears to be running, and it might take a little time to run, but kind of who cares? That's fine.
Okay.
And what you would need to do is, I might delete the old zip file if you haven't taken it down and give you the new one with this code in it.
Yeah, give it. Put it
Completed with errors. That's not so good.
with errors.
Yeah, great. And
Where do we find the errors?
That's a good question. Should be in red on there. It might be on the bollocks. That's annoying. Oh, why did it complete with errors? So you can see it's updated lots of one rows at a time, right?
Right. Now, is it running again here, or are you just going through them?
No, I'm just going through seeing if I can find any red errors. Normally they'd be at the bottom and it would bomb out. But maybe it runs each sub-transaction on its own, and if it fails, it's carrying on through the while loop or something. But I can't see any red at all.
Okay. So can we see the? Let's look at the balances table.
Yeah. Remember, this is a temporary table, so at the end you'll have to do into real table. Yeah, you'd have to do that once it's right. Yeah.
Or can you put
it's got data. It's got data in it, so we can look at it now, see where it got to.
So can we output it to a CSV file?
Yeah, you could. But it doesn't seem to have worked very well because there's hardly any scam rhoc.
They're all zeros?
I think I saw one that wasn't, but it was like only a 1 in the least significant digit. Oh, no. Oh, there you go. We have got scam rhoc.
Okay, we do have a problem.
Go on.
I think we do have a problem. Transactions are in rev, not micro, and the balances are in micro rev.
That makes sense.
Okay, so we have we're off by we're off by a power of 6, right? Or
Yeah, yeah. So which is so basically we probably want to fix that when we load these data type blocks. Yeah.
No, I think we could just take the we can try to fix it right here by taking the quantity and multiplying it by 1,000,000.
But would it not be nicer to just fix it on the initial load and then we're working with the same units in all tables?
Well, it might be, but that might take longer. And the data, monkeying with the original data versus fixing it in the code is.
No. But what I'm saying is we can fix it in the code. Remember, we loaded it raw, but we could divide by 1,000 when we data type it, and then just take like 10 minutes. Wouldn't even take that. But if I do this, is this in nano?
That's in nano, right?
And that's it. And this is in nano, but the transactions are in rev.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So, and nano is 1,000,000, so I need to divide by 1,000,000 on loading the data type blocks. Is that right?
I think so.
In which case, all I need to do is go to the stored procedures for loading the data type blocks here. These two. I already divided by 1,000. How much? Yeah, how many should I be dividing by? 1,000,000. Is that right? In which case, I just do execute. I'm not sure I've got this right. And then I just run those stored procedures again for the blocks, which will run and they'll truncate the tables, and then our data will be fixed. If I did the right thing. Let's leave those open for a while and just go back to here. And then if we rerun this from the top, I have to let it run through again, but it only took a minute, right? And then we should see some sort of different values. I will save those. And while we're doing it, I'll rerun you just to make sure it's in sync. And this runs through. I hope I did divide it by the right number, Jim. I don't know if I did.
Yeah,
I think, to be honest, Jim, I'm going to have to call it a day.
Right. Well, we're done. The only thing you have to do is post the file in the rhoc to rev. Now, if you can you output the balances to CSV?
Yeah, but it's completed with errors, right? So we really haven't.
Don't worry about that.
I'll let you worry about that, sure. So if I do this, now we've got even smaller balances by the look. Oh no, bigger. Some are small.
Yeah.
They're bigger numbers, aren't they? Does that look better?
I think we're better. Okay, so we want to get this CSV file.
Okay. Solution build results
1.
with errors. And I might date it, yeah? 2020-02. I'll put it as 02, yeah? As if we did it yesterday, yeah?
Well, it's still 02 here.
Fair enough. And then C certainly isn't here. Source control, rhoc balancers. Oh no.
That's good.
Yeah. New folder, results. Yeah.
Okay.
And then this is your solution building is not in the main script, yeah? So there's two things that are not in the main script. That's the solution build and that test that I did on the row counts. So let me just show you. Oh yeah, my database name that you need to create, because you'll have to do that manually. I'm going to delete the old code, c.zip, and I'll create you a new c.zip, yeah? So somewhere I'd new folder. So let's delete that and delete these. Let's go back. Source control and ETL processing. So you need to put these directly on the C drive for it to work, yeah? So I'll zip that up. And I'll drag that to there, upload. So you've got everything there. Now as a review, in the ETL file processing, that's extract, transform, load, you've got the original files, yeah? So that's these 3 original files. You've also got a copy of the import packages that it generated, but ignore that. And you've got a copy of your spreadsheet. So that's the file stuff. But more importantly, in the source control folder, which has to go under the C drive in this order, in order for this PowerShell stuff to work, you've got all the SQL. Yeah. You've got the capability to generate a PowerShell script that will redeploy it here. You've got, I don't think I ever use that. I think that'll be rubbish. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of that because that means nothing to you. So I need to do it again afterwards. But you've got your solution building. That's what we just wrote. Yeah. So that's key.
Right.
So the solution building, and then you've got in here your testing. You've got your test row counts, which we had earlier, and you've got your CSV, which gives you the solution build results that we just generated, but we know they've got errors in them. So there's really, I think there's code to be sorted out here. Remember when it ran, it did not return success. It ran and it said completed with errors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might revisit tomorrow. It depends how much trouble I get in at work for being behind, basically. I might have no option but to stay and do work. But if I possibly can, if I've the time and the energy, I'll try and touch base with you tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
Good luck.
You put it here. I was going to put it in the rhoc rev. Oh well.
Feel free. That's absolutely fine, Jim. Just move it across.
You want to stick it in there? I mean, you did it.
Quite happy to, yeah.
I'll put the video in there.
Pardon?
You put the zip in there. I'll put it in the video.
Okay, that sounds good. Thanks. Bye, mate.
Bye, guys.